Oscar will be talking about how AI is transforming the product design. The floor is yours, Oscar.
Cool. Hi, everyone. I'm Arthur. So should I share my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Let me do that. So can everyone see my screen? Cool. So I'm Arthur, and so today I want to talk about the impact of AI on product design. I think like this is pretty much you go out there on X, on like whatever social media you use, like designers are talking about this. So so I will talk about who I am, like why am I someone who's like experienced a lot in this field, why is this happening, and maybe I'll show 2 demos that I have been using AI to put together, and some ending words. So I'll start by a quote. This is from one of my favorite designers, Kari Saarinen. He's the CEO of Linear. So Linear is project management software, but it's really nicely designed. If you look at their website, it's incredible. So Kari shared on LinkedIn that in his post, he said, AI will just let us do more things, not take away things, which I resonated a lot. I feel like AI is really bullish for designers. So a bit about myself. Yeah, maybe I should close this. Yeah, a bit about myself. I'm a designer working on AI products. So I'm currently working at Intercom. This is a customer service company. If I don't know if you guys have used ADP List or not, but if you go to the bottom right corner, there's a tiny chatbot. You can like talk to the customer service from that chatbot. That is Intercom. So if you use Claude, like Anthropic's Claude, and you go to the customer support center, you can also see that widget, which is Intercom. So it's really a customer service company. But before that, I worked at Zoom, the video conferencing tool. I joined Zoom like 2022 August, I believe. Yeah, August. So it's like right before the ChatGPT wave, which I worked on a product that's like analyzing sales meetings for salespeople using Zoom and let them know like, is this deal going to be working? Is this customer happy, sad? So I was very lucky because like a few months into joining Zoom, ChatGPT, really ChatGPT happened, and like everything changed. And like I luckily joined the AI industry before that. And I also joined Intercom last year, which is like last October. But Intercom was working on AI agent, but back then AI agent is not so popular right now. Like everyone's talking about AI agent. So I feel like I'm really lucky because people keep asking me like, how did you break into the AI industry? And I don't have an answer. I just got lucky, like in both cases. But yeah, so today I want to talk more about designing with AI instead of like designing an AI product. So designing an AI product, it's like you're building the AI product itself. But I'm also interested in like, how do I use AI to actually enhance that process of designing? And I believe like a lot of tools right now you can find in the market are really transformational. Like they change everything, but people are just not really aware yet. So what's happening right now? So on the right, you can see a Slack chat in my company, Intercom. I think this was posted on LinkedIn and X, and it got a little bit viral. So basically, it's that our product design team, everyone is using like those vibe coding tools to actually ship to production and to come up with crazy prototypes, to have a lot of discussions around AI stuff. So like, what is it all about? Why are we doing this? And I want to like talk a little bit about the design process. So I think before the AI stuff, before all of this AI buzz, design is your design process in your company probably looks something similar to this, right? So you start from discovery, where you like do some research, you do some analysis on, maybe you have a data dashboard to look at, like, is this retention rate good enough? Or like there's some context. And from that, you kind of have a design solution in your mind. Like, I want to design this way to solve this problem that I observed from research and analysis. So you create designs, you go from lo-fi prototypes to mid-fi to hi-fi, and like you do a lot of user testings in between. And ultimately, when the team thinks, oh, this is a nice design, this is the one we want to go with, you produce design specs, which you give to the engineers. And maybe you have some, like, for B2C products, maybe you have some animations, you produce some low-T animations, but basically this is it. So there's also like a bunch of meetings in between all of this. So this is basically traditionally how product design works, like in almost every place, right? Maybe it's quite different for some companies over others, but more or less it's the same. So let's forget about all the details. Like, it's on a high level, basically discovery, design, and deliver. So if you put it in a, like, frame it in a further simpler way, it's basically like the first two, which is discovery and design. Basically, you are figuring out what a piece of software should look like. That's everything you do, right? And you show it to people to turn into code. It's supposed to be turned into code, right? Code is all that matters. It's going to be the final product that's put in front of the customers. So you show it to someone, engineer, and that person built a product. And there's always this invisible wall in between, figure out what a piece of software should look like and turn into code. Like, this wall exists for many reasons. Some designers don't code. And I think it's safe to say that you can get away without knowing how to code as a product designer before, right? And some people just feel like I need to invest. Like, I work from 9 o'clock to 5 p.m. I just don't think I have time for, like, to get into the yellow part, because it's like doing research and designing in Figma already takes, like, most of my time, right? And because of this broken process, a lot of the chaos happens. So first of all, like, when in the beginning, when you have a rough idea of how the solution look like, there's no way, because you don't know how to code, and like, there's no way for you to effectively visualize what's in your mind right now. So traditionally, some people, like, draw sketches like what I show here, like, to quickly, I have a rough idea, I need to visualize and share with someone, so I draw something. But most of the time, I feel like you draw stuff that only yourself knows what it's about, right? Like, people look at the sketches you draw, what the hell is this? Like, they have no idea what you're drawing. That's my experience a lot of times. And because you don't know, like, you don't know code, so you don't know the constraints, and there's a lot of times that you might come up with crazily insane designs that are, like, the devs just don't know how to make them into a reality, because there's such a gap between you and the code. And lastly, like, at their later phase, when you approach the higher fidelity designs, like, there are times that people need to touch a clickable, playable, interactive prototypes to make sure that they understand what you're trying to propose, as opposed to you have all your Figma screens, like, laid out horizontally in your Figma file. So they need to play with something. So what do? You probably produce this kind of, like, Figma ramen, right? Like, Figma noodles. Like this is like chaos. Like, I hate it. And like, and then eventually engineers jump in and they need to, like, look at your specs and turn to code. So it's such a broken process in many ways. And now something came in to break the wall, which is Claude. Claude is crazily good at understanding code, because code is really structured and patterned, right? Code has, like, code has rules, like different coding language have different sets of rules, has different syntax, but, like, syntax are repetitive across, like, the code base, right? So it's something that's actually very easy to learn for LLMs. So they understand code, and they probably understand what you talk about, right? So because think about, like, when you say something to ChatGPT, most of the time they understand what you want. It's just that there's some inability for it to actually give you what you want. For example, you can't just open ChatGPT and say, book a flight ticket for me. It understands that you need flight ticket, but it cannot book the ticket for you. There's some like, it's just not possible right now. But for code, it works both ways. It understands what you're trying to convey, and it also understands the code base, which makes it like makes it useful to help you like build prototypes. So basically, the intent, the wall between intent, which is like your idea, and production, which is like the code, has shattered. So what does it look like right now? So right now for me, this is only speaking of my own experience, but instead of like drawing rough sketches with pen or with Figma or with whatever tool you use, I now use Lovable. It's incredibly easy. I will show a demo later. And like for like understanding what can be done in our code and what cannot, I use Cursor, because Cursor like has access to all of my company's code base. So I can basically just ask Cursor, do you think it's possible to do this, to do that? So it's really convenient. And for that Figma Noodle stuff, I don't have a complete solution for that yet. Like for simple interactions, simple prototypes, I still feel like it's a little bit easier to just use a Figma to like connect things together. But for like the more complex demos, more complex design changes, I find Cursor a lot more useful than like pulling the Figma element thing. So yeah, so basically, what did I prototype? I'll show you two demos I've done. So I work at Intercom. Just to say it again, Intercom is a customer service company. So the end user go to whatever website that uses Intercom and go to that chatbot and talk to that company's either customer support rep, or like if that company is using our AI agent, the AI agent. So Intercom has an inbox feature. So this is where like the customer support team looks at all the incoming queries from customers. So you can see like these are the conversations. You can see the conversation list. You can see this is our AI agent. You can see like conversations handled by AI agent, but you can also handle the conversation like by typing stuff, like if you're the support agent, and you can see a lot of different attributes, different things that's happening with this conversation here. So assignee, which inbox it goes to, different stuff. It's not important, but the problem I had right now is that so there was a project about like, okay, now that teams are Intercom is a company that's supporting both like human real customer service and AI agent customer service, right? So those two kinds of conversations like both live in the inbox, because you need to see both like the conversations handled by your teammate and the conversations handled by AI agent. But for AI agent, people expect to jump in to an AI agent conversation and to see how it handled the conversation and like provide feedback to AI agent, right? It's like, so for example, did the AI agent make false information? Did the AI agent speak in the right tone of voice of my company, right? So that's really important, but it's really hard for us to build that rating feature, evaluation feature here, because there's already so much going on with the human support. So we thought like, okay, maybe we need to take the conversations done by AI agent to a separate place and like allow the customer service reps to do the ratings there. So I was like tasked to figure that out. But it's really hard, because imagine if you're a user if you're a user of Intercom, you jump into Intercom and you see like inbox exists in two places. How does that make sense to you? So I wanted to prototype some of my early ideas, but it's really hard to use like pen and pencil to do the prototyping. So I use Lovable. So I'll share the Lovable. Sorry, this is not Lovable. I'll share the Lovable design I had. So I was imagining, oh shit, what happened? I was imagining that I can build a separate tool that's kind of similar to Inbox, but it allows the customer service rep to rate the conversations. So I built this demo in pretty much like 1.5 hours using Lovable. It's a pretty long conversation, but what I did is that I communicate my plan, my intent with ChatGPT, and when I reach a point that I feel like both me and ChatGPT has a good picture of what I'm trying to build, I asked ChatGPT to come up with Lovable prompts, and I asked like ChatGPT to divide it into several chunks that can be easily absorbed by Lovable. So I basically just paste that here and do some debugging, and it was like an hour and a half, and I built this. So basically, you can create something called a batch. So a batch is just a group of conversations that I care about. So for example, I care about like the billing, the money-related conversations in the past 3 months or in the past month. So I am the person who's going to look at how AI agent did. So I'll choose myself, and I'll choose like the topic is about billing. So I need to use that as a filter. This is a score, AI score we have. So I only want to look at the ones with like bad scores, so below 3. There should be a below here, but I don't know why it's not showing. But I only want like the AI score below 3. So maybe like I want in last month. So I can create a batch. Boom. So these are the list of conversations that are related to billing and money related stuff, subscription. And I can basically look at them, rate them, mark it as reviewed, rate them, mark it as reviewed. So like you can see like the ones I've reviewed is here. So this is the list of the conversations. I can use like up and down arrow to switch between conversations. So this looks pretty decent, and I managed to like pull this together in like 1.5 hours. So people like my product manager, the AI team, the engineering team, they have a good idea of, oh, we're not just replicating another Inbox. We're actually designing a tool that is like using Inbox as the basis, but like what you do here is you're actually rating the conversations. So this is incredible. Like, how could I have done this without Lovable, like without the Vive coding tool? And it helps us to really drive the early alignment in our organization. So that's the Lovable use case. So I'll show another cursor use case. So like this, the Inbox. Traditionally, let me go back to that again. But if you look at the Inbox screenshot here, let me zoom in. So this is like all the module with here is fixed. So the module is just is this wide. Like it's not changeable. And some people, for example, I want to look at this first message here to make sure this is the right conversation I want to look into. But like it's truncated with ... right? I can't see the full sentence, and I don't think I need that much of space here, right? Like I don't need that much space to look at the conversation details, and I probably don't need this to be this wide too. So like, can I change layout? Can I have some like responsive rules to change layout of these modules? How can I do that? And traditionally, think about this, like if you do this in Figma, how are you supposed to prototype a draggable like module? It's impossible, right? You need to basically have different screens of like different combinations of like, for example, this is stretched to the maximum width, and this is stretched to the maximum width. Like you can have those different cases listed in your Figma file side by side, and that's like really painful. So what I did here is basically I asked Cursor to build a responsive and draggable modular layout for the Inbox. And here it is. Let me go back. So this is the experimental build. So just for your context, Intercom's designers can access the code base. Obviously, there's certain rules we have to follow to make sure we don't fuck up the code base. But there's like access to code base, so I can just ask Cursor to build it for me. And right now you can see that I can drag this to see the home message if I feel that's the right view I am accessing. So like I can drag these, change the width. And how could I have done this with Figma? Like this is impossible. And this took me like 30 minutes to do. Like it's really a 30 minutes work, and you can unlock so much potential. And I can show this to the developer. Obviously, he's not going to use my code. Like there's like so much complication in writing the production code. Like you have to make sure it's secure. You need to run it against like unit tests and stuff. So they're not actually going to use my code, but like by looking at this, it's so clear that what I want to do. Like, but instead of looking at those like Figma screens, like horizontally laid out in a Figma file, it's just so much of a clear communication. So that's my cursor example. And later on, I was thinking, is it possible for me to like swap the positions? For example, can I swap this with this? Can I swap this with this? So like I went a bit over. I was a little bit crazy with like prototyping stuff. So I asked Cursor, like, can I design the experience of swapping the position of the modules, conversation list? These are the modules I just showed. I don't want to break the environment again, so please don't implement anything before you complete the code base investigation. Look into it, see how much is feasible. And very incredibly, Cursor gave me a very thorough analysis of how this is not possible, or this is really hard, this is really complex, that I should probably avoid. I won't go into details, but like I can basically just read this and figure out why it's not possible. So yeah, there comes to the end of my presentation. I think AI will potentially lead to the biggest design tool shift ever, bigger than switching from Photoshop to Sketch, from Sketch to Figma, anything. I think we're gonna have like largely different design tools in the future. So yeah, it's probably a good time to start playing with this tool, like learn from it, have some opinion to share with people, have some tips and tricks, best practices. But yeah, that's it. All right.